Tomorrow around this time, Russian President Vladimir Putin lands here in India's capital. He is set to spend 24 hours here, viewer. Now, we've already reported all the big items on the agenda between him and Prime Minister Modi. But what's going to happen to Putin during those 24 hours in Delhi? Allow me to tell you. From the moment Putin's aircraft cuts through the brown-grey toxic lid over Delhi, he effectively lights his first invisible cigarette. Now, Putin is a non-smoker. He doesn't know it. He won't realize it. But that's exactly what he'll be doing. He will be lighting a cigarette. Because Delhi's AQI this week, Air Quality Index this week, has been sitting anywhere between 300 and 370. That's very poor to severe. Our PM 2.5 levels, that is particulate matter, have been hovering around 100 to 120 micrograms per cubic meter, sometimes double that at night. So as President Putin's motorcade travels across beautiful Lutyens, Delhi, Putin will be steadily inhaling what scientists bluntly describe as a toxic aerosol of fine particles, nitrogen dioxide, ozone, and even carbon monoxide. It'll get worse for the VIP visitor after sunset. In winter, Delhi's air at night turns from bad to brutal. PM 2.5 shoots up to 200 to 270 micrograms per cubic meter. The pollution layer simply collapses onto Delhi's surface. Every breath you take becomes heavier and a strain. The eyes burn, the throat scratches, the chest tightens. Even my chest is tightened right now. Putin is one of the healthiest world leaders. He's 73 years old. And he keeps very, very fit. Like I said, he doesn't smoke. But he's 73 years old, which means oxygen absorption in the lungs will drop, inflammation will spike in the bloodstream, and Putin's cardiovascular system will briefly go into stress mode. Now, for a man his age, this is what doctors classify as high-risk exposure air. By the time the Russian president wakes up the next morning on Friday, he would have smoked the equivalent of 25 cigarettes just by being in Delhi for 24 hours. Now, as someone who espouses a healthy lifestyle, Putin cannot avoid the air of India's capital. Of course, he will have purifiers and luxury safeguards, but you get the drift. If 24 hours does this to a visiting head of state, imagine what 24 winters do to a Delhi citizen, thanks to the successive negligence of governments that have been in charge of this part of the country. Imagine what living 365 days here means for a newborn, an elderly parent, or an asthma patient. I have mild asthma myself. Because just weeks ago, parts of Delhi's air reached 969 AQI, air that translated to the equivalent of 25 or more cigarettes in just one single day. I used to be a smoker. I quit in 2013. Today, I'm smoking 25 cigarettes a day without touching a cigarette. And a conservative 2024 study showed that simply living in Delhi for a year is like smoking nearly 1,800 cigarettes, 5 cigarettes every day at those pollution levels. Delhi has become a city where respiration itself is the risk factor. We worry about food quality, road safety, hospital access, but the danger that hits us first and hurts us longest, it is the very breath we take each morning. So tomorrow, as Putin's itinerary plays out, with pomp and red carpets, remember, this isn't a story just about Putin. This is a story about us. We live here. We breathe here. Our children grew up here. If 24 hours are enough to potentially damage a powerful guest, what does that say about the city that 34 million lungs call home?